I now own a 140-year-old building. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a lovely, wonderful, fantastic day. As always with these videos, I don't even know, who even knows if I'm gonna post this? I might just ramble off the camera for like 30 minutes and be like, well that was nothing, and then move on. But does that look absolutely ridiculous? I feel like that looks ridiculous. Maybe we'll just do one on this side because this is the side that tends to follow my face when I'm getting ready. But there are a couple of things that I was really excited to share with you guys. So the little secret thing that I've been keeping for quite some time now, I'm gonna finally reveal what it is. And no, I'm not pregnant. I've just gained weight and I wear really shiny highlighter, so that's where the glow comes from. So I'm finally gonna be revealing like my big exciting secret that I personally, I don't know if you guys are gonna think it's super exciting, but I think it's super exciting. So I really want to share it with y'all. And I also have a couple like general updates, nothing crazy, but we have a new corner. The Christmas tree is gone. There is no more Christmas tree, but in place of the Christmas tree, I personally think we have something even better. So if you guys can see back there, there is a beautiful painting of Rin and Tater that was done by a lady named Tammy. She sent it to me for Christmas and I have been waiting to be able to put it up. I did want to put it over like where the boys sleep because I thought it would be the perfect spot. And now that the Christmas tree is gone, I can finally show it off. But if you'll notice up here in this corner right there, that one, that's actually the Christmas tree painted into the painting. So the tree will always be with us. She did this beautiful, beautiful paint. It's literally perfect. It looks exactly like Rin and Tater. I'll get you guys a closer up like view of it so you can see all the details and everything. It looks precisely like them. Tater's even kind of pink. It's literally perfect. She also sent this very lovely letter that I cried my eyes out reading. I absolutely did. And she also sent this adorable picture of her dog Cricket, who she called my little everything, who passed away in 2020. Oh, and it's a beautiful letter, it's a beautiful sentiment, it's a beautiful painting, and I just want to thank you so very much, Tammy. I'm lost for words. It's an amazing, perfect gift, and I think this is the perfect place to hang this painting. Okay, so I'm just gonna get, oh my goodness, just the fingerprints and the revealing of the junk on the table. That's not great. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and hop on into this. I've already done like skincare stuff. I am gonna put this toolless stuff under my eyes. I don't actually know if this does any skincare kind of things. It just feels cool, and I like the cool feeling. Like rubbing an icicle under your eyes. I like it. All right, as far as updates go that aren't like the big secret that I'm finally revealing, there really aren't that many. The last time we left off, last time on Get Ready With Me, we talked about my foot that might be broken. Still haven't gotten that x-rayed. Haven't done that yet, but it's quite painful still. So probably should do that. What else did we talk about? What have I done since then? That was like 2 weeks ago. Have I done anything? Oh, we did get Tater allergy tested and we got his test results back. And you know, I'm no vet, I'm no scientist, I'm no dermatologist, I'm no doctor, but we got his results back and it came back that he's allergic to nothing. Nothing at all. So we had gotten him allergy tested. They took his blood and stuff, and then we waited about a week. That's when they told us the results would be in. We didn't hear anything, so I called them. I was like, hey, just checking in on the results. And they're like, oh, they're not back yet. We'll call you when they come back. So they called me back the next day. The results were in, and the lady on the phone, she was like, well, we got the results and he's not allergic to anything. And I was like, what? How is he not allergic to anything? This poor boy, I mean, he breaks out in hives, like little bumps on his body. He gets super, super red in the face, like around his snout. His ears will get red. His eyes get red. He has like goopy eyes. He was chewing into his front and back paws so much that they started like creating wounds, and he was like bleeding. They got infected. He was there for his paws and infection in them just like, you know, a few days earlier. I don't understand. Like, how is he allergic to nothing? Like, what's happening to him? He's balding. His skin's peeling off. Like, there has to be something. There has to be something. And I was telling her all this on the phone, and she was like, okay, yeah, like that doesn't really make sense. So they scheduled us for a follow-up with the vet, which actually worked out super well because we were noticing that Rin was getting a little bit of a cough, and you know, he's older, and that made me freak out. So we took in Rin for the cough, and we took in Tater to get like rechecked out, just looked at, and like have a discussion with the vet on how this boy, who looks like a walking allergy ad, has no allergies. So we went back to the vet. The first one that he he examined was Rin, which is this one here, the older one, the one that's black and Tater is gray. And he listened to his heart and his lungs and he said they sound good, they sound healthy and strong, which is fantastic. And then he started like poking around at his neck and stuff, and he was able to make Rin cough and kind of like hack like we have been hearing him doing just by kind of poking around on his throat. They said it's likely something just like located in his throat. It's probably irritated, so he gave him several different medications for that, and I had him checked out. There's some like little lumps and bumps on him because I'm incredibly paranoid, and anytime I see anything on one of the dogs, they go to the vet. It gets checked out. So Rin got his checkup and he got his medications, and then we put Tater up on the table, and the vet, I think he was even so confused why the results came back like completely negative. He said that he went back and double checked them before he came into our appointment. And not only does Tater like have no allergies, he even said the words, he's like, I've never seen a dog with less allergies. What? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So I would hate to say like potentially maybe was the test faulty or something, because, you know, again, we were telling him all about like what's going on with him, his chewing, his skin falling off, like his hair balding, like all that kind of stuff. And the doctor is just like, I don't know what to tell ya. But unfortunately, one thing he did say about like especially the hair loss on his sides and the back of his ears, he did say he probably thinks it has to do just with his coloring. So he is what they consider a like blue, I think, blue or silver, something. He's gray. And typically Boston Terriers are black. So his mom was black Boston Terrier. All of his sisters that were in his litter, they were all girls. They were all black. For some reason he was gray, so it's just like an abnormality or something in the gene, which we didn't really know anything about that. We just thought he was cute. So he is, unfortunately, we're two of a kind. We really are. So he has alopecia. He has color dilution alopecia. That is what is causing probably the majority of his hair loss and also his skin just like literally like peeling off. It looks like a sunburn. A sunburn starts to heal and like the top layers begin to peel off. That is probably something that is irreversible. So he might be just a little bit bald, and that's okay. I understand that. So unfortunately he does have that gene, and I don't know how much more it'll progress. I don't know. But there is a dermatologist, and it's a dermatologist like just for pets and animals. I didn't even consider that being a thing. I just on a whim the other day, I was like, are there dermatologists just for like your pets? And turns out there are. So I'm thinking that we're gonna take him up there and see if we can figure out like what to do to help him with his color dilution alopecia and his really dry skin and all that flaking, because we already do all the stuff, you know, we have the creams and the lotions and the shampoos and the omega-3s and all of those kind of things. So I just want to see if there's anything further that we can do. But while we were at the vet, I was like, okay, so apparently he doesn't have any allergies, but I was like, it doesn't make a lot of sense because he's had these problems since he was a baby, and he used to get cytopoint injections, and they worked tremendously well. They worked fantastic. As soon as he would get his injections, like he would not be as pink, he would stop all of his scratching, and the only reason we stopped the injections is because of his seizures. So a different vet at that same veterinarian office told us that the cytopoint injections might like have something to do with the seizures or might interact with his medicine, so he suggested taking him off the injections because he was getting them once a month, and we could tell like as soon as I started wearing off, he was pink again, scratching. So they were working. They were definitely working, but because we were so worried about them interfering with his medications or potentially even causing more seizures, we stopped them. But this other vet, once I told him that, he was like, okay, so did you notice a correlation between the seizures and the cytopoint injections? Which there's not really much of a correlation to notice because as soon as he started having seizures, we stopped the injections. So we said no, because he hasn't had the injections in so long, you know, we can't really say that there's a correspondence between the two. So he suggested that we start the cytopoint injections again, and I'm very grateful for that because he has gone several days now without any scratching. Just every now and then, like in the night, I can hear like a little but that's about it. So just like a normal amount, I guess, of dog scratching. He is not, you know, chewing through his paws. He's not nearly as red, and it has been wonderful. So I'm really, really hoping we don't notice an upkick in seizures or anything, because when you look it up, there are neurological issues that can come from Cytopoint, including seizures. But he has been off the injections for so long, I don't know if there would still be any connection. But regardless, I feel like if we can keep him on these injections, his life will improve tremendously. Even if he still has like his monthly seizure episodes, at least he won't be uncomfortable and scratching constantly. So fingers crossed that he can keep getting these injections and they will continue to work. I've talked for like 25 minutes straight about Tater's itchy skin. I'm so sorry. Also, I promise my bronzer does not, hopefully at least, look this crazy in person. I don't know what's going on. It just looks, it's looking extra Oompa Loompa-y today. I'm so sorry. Most of my days just revolve around a few, very few things, and one of those things are these boys. That's pretty, you know, I'm here at the house all day with the boys, so my day is like YouTube, sometimes store stuff, and then boys. That's about it. So I only have a very small amount of things I can talk about. But okay, I guess at this point I just need to go ahead and get on into the exciting thing that I think is exciting, but you guys might not think is super exciting, and I'm sorry if you don't, because we've been waiting a long time to finally be able to talk about it. So speaking of store stuff, we have made quite a large step with our store. Quite a large jump, a leap with our business. It still doesn't feel real to me yet, but every time I think about it, I get real nervous. But I'm very happy, very excited, very grateful to say that we have purchased the building for our store. We have purchased our store. We bought our store. I now own a 140-year-old building. So technically we have two store locations. We have Apparitions Vintage Village, which was our first store. It opened up in 2018, like 5 years ago. And then we have Second and Main, which is right next door. It's on the corner. That we started almost a year ago, which is crazy. We started that in April of last year. So that is our newest store, and that is the building that we now own. Which I'm real excited about it. So not only do we own the main floor where our store is, there's also a basement underneath. So that's our basement. I own that now. And in the back part of that basement, there's a tailor shop. They've been there for years. So they're going to be our renters, you know, for however long they want to be there. And then upstairs, because it is a it's technically a 3-story building. Upstairs, there are 2 apartments that we are going to be renovating. So you guys might be thinking like, oh, well, that's lovely. Yay, lovely. But like, why have you not been able to talk about that for this long? Well, the thing is, we were a little bit concerned that somebody else might try to like swoop in and get it from us as we were going through the process of acquiring the building. So this all started out like almost what, 2 years now at this point ago. So we had the store at Apparitions, and next to us where our building is now was a restaurant. They unfortunately had to quickly close. They weren't there for very long, but the owner of the building, he unfortunately passed, was the nicest, sweetest older gentleman ever. Like, just so kind. He came to us and he was like, hey, I have this space becoming available because it's, you know, it's right next door to our store. Would you all want to rent it? And we were like, oh, you know, that's very interesting. And then he told us how much he was going to rent it to us for. It's like 24 or something by like 90? Is it 90? 80? 90? I don't know. Square foot building. Super tall ceilings. Again, it's like our other store. It was built in 1880 whatever. And he was gonna rent it to us for $900, which is incredible. That is incredible. Like, we literally could not say no to that. We could not say no to that. Now granted, it did need a lot of work. It was a restaurant before, and there were like the walls need to be taken down. It needed the work. It needed work. But $900 a month is crazy. I don't know where my angle brush is, and I was gonna try to put on my eyebrows with this dough foot, but I don't think that's gonna work. So long story short, for that part, we said yes, absolutely yes, we would love to rent this building. We ended up coming up with an agreement that we could rent the building for 5 years for $900 a month, which is just so incredibly generous on his part, because he definitely could have gotten more rent out of it, but I think potentially because he was just older, he just wanted somebody in there who was going to stay in there, who was going to treat the building well, and he didn't have to like continually look for different tenants. So we were super happy to sign that lease, and like while we were in discussions of this, we did honestly bring up the idea of like us purchasing the building, which he kind of was interested in, but he was concerned about like you know, the money that you get from the sale of a building that you don't owe, you being taxed on the profits because the building have been paid for so many years, because this has been in his family's name for like years and years and years. And he was, I think he was, oh goodness, was he in his 90s? Late 80s, 90s. He was definitely an older gentleman, but again, just so incredibly kind. And he was also pretty like spry. He walked a lot, and when we had those floods and things, he was down there in like galoshes trying to mop up cold water, and I was like, you can't, no, here, I have this, please go home, I don't want you to get sick or anything. He was like, no, I have to be here to help. So it took us a while to actually renovate the store and open in April. I think we were renovating it for, I mean, it was like almost a year before we actually opened. Who is that? I got an appointment notification, and my very first instinct is to just press C for cancel, but I need to go to doctors. I need to go to the doctors. We had been, you know, at the store for several months at this point, and unfortunately we received news one day that the man who owned the building, who was our landlord at the time, had passed. And that was very sad. That was very sad. He was a fantastic landlord. He was, again, just so incredibly kind. Like as a person, as a human, incredibly kind. So we were very sad about that. And then we became a little nervous as well because we were in this lease, this long-term lease with him. We didn't know what was going to happen with the building, like what was going to happen with the new owner, what was going to happen to whoever it passed down to. Were they going to sell it? Were they going to keep it? Would it have new landlord? Like, there is a lot kind of up in the air, and we were very nervous about it. Face looks gray. I'm not quite sure what I accidentally dipped into from right here, but my face looks super duper gray right now. So after his passing, he had left the building to his daughter. So his daughter took over ownership of the building, and she was our new landlord. And it wasn't too long after that that the idea or the proposal of purchasing the building, of us purchasing the building, started to circulate. I can't remember, she just came to my dad one day, because I only met her a couple of times, but her and my dad spoke a lot about the building. He was really taking care of the building a lot because she didn't live in the same town that we did. There were 2 renters upstairs, and if you guys think we were getting a good deal for our $900 a month, the front apartment, the small one, I think was $200 a month, and the back apartment, the big one, was either $250 or $300 a month. Again, that he's just the kindest man. So sweet, so kind, so generous. But the problem with that, especially for like an older person, the renters were very much so taking advantage of him and his generosity. Very much so. Even though the rent was so low, I know the back apartment didn't pay him for a long time and said he was making it up with like work and stuff because he was some type of contractor person. He wasn't doing anything. He absolutely was not doing anything besides not paying rent. He also wasn't paying utilities. The front apartment, I think they were also short on utilities and rent and things. And it's really sad because somebody who is that kind and generous, it's disheartening to know that these people were taking advantage of him and also leaving his apartments an absolute mess, a wreck, to be fully honest. The back apartment, the one that we were kind of concerned about, honestly, wasn't nearly as bad as the front apartment. The front apartment, they had cats, multiple or just one, I don't know, but sometimes I would walk into the store, into our store downstairs, and I could smell like cat litter because they were just collecting it and just setting it outside in the hallway, the inside hallway of the apartments, and it just enveloped the apartments. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. There's a whole lot of stuff that needs to be done. Our other landlord had gone up there one day and she said the entire hallway was just filled with like trash. So unfortunately, these people were not only not paying their very generous, very low rent, they were kind of not taking care of the place to the best of their ability. So they were asked to leave by the new owner, his daughter. So we fortunately didn't have to worry about tenants or anything like that upstairs when we did finally make the purchase. But the reason I hadn't told you guys about it just yet is because there's this man in our town. This man, I don't know what kind of fancy pants job he has, but he buys up all the daggone properties in downtown, and then either they turn into law offices or they're just abandoned. There's so many abandoned buildings in our downtown because this man buys them and then just does nothing with them or charges so incredibly much much in rent that nobody can rent them. So we were very hush-hush about the fact that there could even be a possibility of anybody purchasing this building, because we were so afraid that this man, this fancy pants man with his fancy pants money, was going to be able to come in and be like, oh, well, here's a ton of money. Let me go ahead and offer you well over asking price so that I can own this building, probably get us out of there somehow, and then, you know, let it just fall to pieces, because that's what he does. So he really kept it like tight-lipped that there was a chance that we were going to buy the building, or like anybody else was going to buy the building. Just so happened that the very first time he ever came into the store, our store, was after our landlord had passed. He just so happened to come in right after then and just look around, take a look around the building. My dad also saw him out on the corner with another guy taking pictures of the outside of the building, like he was already planning like it was gonna be his. But very fortunately, the lady that we ended up purchasing the building from really wanted us to have it, because she believed that we would be able to keep the integrity of the building. We wouldn't like cut it up into office spaces, you know, put a bunch of like lawyers in there or anything. We would be able to redo the upstairs, turn it into something really nice. And also the tailor shop that I had mentioned, they've been there for a very long time, and they also are paying a very low rent. So she and her father were very adamant that the tailor shop could stay there with their low rent, and she didn't want somebody to come in and like jack up the price and run them out. And we assured her that was not going to happen. Even like well before we had even really considered buying the building, we were like, if one day we did own this, the tailor shop gets to stay there, and we're not, you know, they're a part of like downtown, like they're staying there. I think they only pay like $200 a month or something, and there's not a chance we're raising their rent. If Mr. Fancy Pants were to have bought that building, there's no way in heck he would have allowed the tailor shop to stay down there for that little of rent. He would have raised their rent, he would have tried to get them out somehow so he could make more money off the building. I absolutely guarantee it. So we didn't tell like anybody that we were in the works of buying this building, and it did take a while. It took a really long time to get the inspection done and some other stuff done. They came out and did the inspection, and I think they said the value of the building was like $235,000, which honestly, like, it's a very large building. Like I said, it's technically 3 stories if you count the basement, and then it's huge. It's really long and it's wide, so there's a lot of square footage, but the disrepair of the upstairs it's a lot. It's gonna take a lot to redo it. So the appraisal came back at like $235. The lady who sold it to us was so incredibly kind about everything, and she really trusted my dad, so he was able to come back and be like, okay, well, we've looked at the roof and all these other things. These are repairs that are gonna have to be done to the building, like non-cosmetic things that have to be done to protect the integrity of the building. So she ended up lowering the price to $220,000, which does seem like a lot, and it is a lot. It is a lot, but that was our purchasing price. So we were able to purchase the building for $220,000, which we were all very happy with. We truly and honestly were, especially because we were so afraid Mr. Fancy Pants was gonna come in there and be like, here's $300,000, and that's just something we couldn't do. We couldn't compete with that, and we pretty much knew, like, we knew that we were gonna have to buy this building if we wanted this to be like, me and Jeremy, like, we want this to be a long haul thing. Like, we want to be able to operate these stores for the foreseeable future, Apparitions and Second and Main, like forever. And there's just not a chance that we could survive as a store with that man being our landlord. It wouldn't happen. Either he would find a way to like break our very inexpensive lease, or he would wait for the 5 years to be up and then just jack it up crazy. It would have ended up being like $3,000 or something a month based on his other rental properties downtown. So because we want this to be like our future, we went ahead, we purchased it. It's just so much money, and it makes me so incredibly nervous. But we did it, and it's very exciting. It is very exciting to be able to feel like that security that we own our own building that our store is in. Just the security of like not having to worry about renting and, you know, swapping owners and things like that. So it's gonna take us a while to redo the upstairs, but I figure I would do maybe some type of series. I don't know if I would do it here or maybe on my vlog channel of the renovation process. So showing you guys like before and afters. I mean, we're taking down walls, we're taking down ceilings, we're redoing floors, we're hopefully exposing brick. There's gonna be at least a year going into this to really get the upstairs to something nice. So I think what we're gonna do, the front little studio apartment, that might actually become my filming studio. So we might be moving from the house to the filming studio over there, which would be so nice. Because me and Jeremy and the boys could all go in the morning. We could go upstairs and work and film. Jeremy can be downstairs running the store. If they need anything downstairs, I can go down there. If Jeremy wants to take a break, he can come upstairs and hang out with the boys, and I can go work downstairs. Like, I feel like it would be so nice to actually just be at the building. This makeup's going a little bit awry because I keep talking too much, but that's okay. And because it is like a little apartment, you know, of course there'd be a bathroom and a kitchen and that kind of thing. So I think it would be I just think it would be really nice, and I think it would be a really beautiful space to film. There's like arched windows and stuff. I'm gonna do an entire tour of the whole store, like top to bottom of the store for you guys. And then the back apartment, I think for now we might be doing an Airbnb. That might be what we're doing in the back. My parents are a little bit nervous about like a long-term renter. We might be doing Airbnb, but if that doesn't work out, then we'll just move to long-term renting. We're just gonna see what works out best for us. But I really would love to like chronicle this journey with you guys, show you all the like renovations and decorating, maybe going out and like shopping for this stuff. We know that we would love to decorate things with like vintage stuff. I think that would be super cool, like if we could have stuff from the store like up there and things. I don't know, I just think it's gonna be a very interesting journey for everybody. I'm definitely nervous. I am nervous. This is my first ever like big time big girl purchase. My house fortunately was very kindly, graciously passed down to me. So this is like my first big purchase. My parents were going to financially contribute to the purchase. We went into it together. We made an entire LLC. Like, we are in business together. My parents and me and my husband, like, we're in business together. We haven't for a while, but now we have like an actual government structure telling us we are. But fortunately, we're in the place like I've been saving for forever. I'm a little bit of a penny pincher, so I've been saving for a very long time. You know, my parents, they've been enjoying their retirement. They've been enjoying traveling, so I don't want them to have to put themselves in any type of financial burden. So we are just going to take on the financial burden, and then the store hopefully will make up money to pay for like the loan and stuff. And I think it'll work out fantastically. I really do. I'm just of course a little bit nervous. It's a big step for all of us, and I am a little bit nervous, but I'm so excited to get the renovation started. My parents just got back from their most recent travel, so we're gonna get started very, very soon on all the renovations, and I hope you guys, I don't know, might be interested and come along for that. All right guys, so that was everything for the update. That was my exciting announcement. Like I said, I'm sorry if it wasn't super exciting to you guys, but for me it is to own my own like building, my 140-year-old building, which, you know, we've been looking for like a really old house. We don't have a house. We thought about moving up there though. I don't think we're gonna do that anymore, but we did think about moving up there and turning it into like a big kind of like very industrial looking like apartment thing just for us, but I don't think we're doing that anymore. But now I own an old building, and I'm gonna be moving my YouTube studio, and we might have an Airbnb or an apartment, and yeah, it's to me it's really exciting. It's just, I think it's a really big step for my business, hopefully like establishing its future, and I personally am really excited, and I hope you guys think it's at least somewhat exciting. So this is the very unexciting look for the day, but that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so very much for watching. Please go ahead and consider subscribing if you would not mind. Also, check out my vlog channel. Maybe that's where I'm gonna put like the building stuff, or should I put it here? Let me know what you guys think. I'll have my vlog channel down below in the description if you guys want to like go check that out. There's nothing on it right now, but there might be soon. Also, again, thank you so incredibly much for this beautiful, beautiful painting. I will keep it and display it forever. But that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so very much for watching. Please go ahead and consider subscribing if you would not mind. It means the absolute world to me, Ren, and Tater, and I hope you guys have a lovely, wonderful, fantastic day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!